So my sister and I were talking about Dad the other day. He's just in a place where he's needing more and more help with everyday things. The more we talked about it, the more we realized we really don't know where to start.
Well, I think you came to the right place. The Piper is an assisted living community. It also has memory loss services for those with memory challenges. But the Piper is an entirely new and different concept, first in Kansas City, with very carefully selected staff, very professional. And it's located in a really great residential neighborhood just west of the Legends, a beautiful new building that is very homey and really well thought out.
Well, our dad is still really sharp. He just needs more and more help with everyday tasks. How do we know we're choosing the right place for his needs?
In terms of what he needs, the staff that we carefully select also are very carefully trained. And so we really specialize in meeting you or your dad wherever you find yourselves, and we listen really well. That's what we're most proud of. We listen and observe really well to see, who are you, what do you need, what are your desires as a person who will live here or a person who has a family member who will be here, so that we don't organize you around our services. We organize our services in all regards around you.
So everybody says they're different, but I have toured half a dozen assisted livings in the area these last few months, and they're all the same as far as I can tell. So what is it that's so special about the Piper?
Well, I think every provider in senior living does the best they can to provide as high quality as they can, but that's where the sameness ends. Really, the Piper, the first of its kind here in Kansas City, is different because it is made up of a group of 6 households. It's a model called the household model. My partners and I pioneered that and introduced it to the senior living sector about 15 years ago. And we've helped create these models from coast to coast in Ireland and in Australia. And we've helped it transition from an incubated idea, a really good idea, to now mainstream thought. But it's still very early in the adoption period. And so this is our first project in Kansas City, and we're very excited about it. But you ask, well, what's the difference? In other words, what is this household model? The household model, as opposed to what you normally see, whether you're used to a kind of an institutional looking and smelling place, or whether you're used to a kind of a fancy senior living place with the big chandeliers and the big dining rooms and the big gathering places. Whatever your frame reference is, this is uniquely different because we've created 6 distinctly separate households with the front door, living room, dining room, kitchen. The food's all made there, where groups of about 20 people have their own individual, very nicely appointed apartments with kitchens and living room and bedroom and bath, etc. But each of these apartments is in a household that shares a living room, dining room, and kitchen. So it's really a great option because, one, you're not living in the public, like so many of these places are. When you leave your apartment, you're out in the public. With the household model, you can have life in your own apartment, but you share a household with about 20 other people.
Well, since Mom has gotten older, her personal clock has become a little funny. She likes to sleep in and eat at odd times. In fact, last night she asked me for bacon and eggs at 8 o'clock.
Well, food, when you stop and think about it, there are a lot of things that are important in life to us, but there's just few things that can touch food. And so, we've designed everything about the household model around food, as it relates to you and your preferences. So you can wake up whenever you want and come and eat whatever you want whenever you want it. And there's been a lot of design that's gone in to make that appear effortless. But there's a full kitchen in every household, and every apartment has a kitchen. So in your apartment, you can have or there's a good sized refrigerator, not like a little motel or nursing home refrigerator or an assisted living refrigerator. We're talking a refrigerator and a nice kitchen in your apartment. So that can be fully stocked to the degree that you want it to be. But in this household of 20 people, there is a full kitchen and a full pantry and specially trained staff who have taught people across the country how to do this. So you're getting, the pros at it right off the bat. But the food's cooked there. Much of it is prepared there. And you can, just like in your own home, mom might be cooking something, or your wife might be cooking, or your husband might be cooking something, but you want something else, or you want to be able to snack on something else, or whatever that is going to be available. So, there might be a meatloaf cooking in the house, but if you want a pork chop, it's going to be there. If you want a grilled cheese, it's going to be there. Soup's always on at the Piper. So, there's always soup on. There's always coffee, and there's always beverages. One of the very central hallmarks of this model and of Action Pact and the Piper is that kitchen is the heart of the home. It isn't any home we've ever lived in. It's where people gather. It's where all the smells are. It's where the activity's happening. And the Piper is no exception to the fact it's probably the best example of that than you've had since you were a kid. So, if you want breakfast at 8 p.m., you can have it. If you want a hamburger at 7:30 in the morning, you're going to get it.
So I can have real food all day?
All day.
Pancakes?
Sure.
French toast?
Yeah, and the smells of it. That's it. Nothing fills the house, like frying bacon. But the aromas of food are just part of daily life there because it's cooked right there. It's not hauled in some machine in a tray and, set in front of you with a bunch of paper products. It's right there. It's as normal and everyday as you've ever had.
I like you. Are you the administrator of this place?
No, I'm not the administrator. I'm the CEO of Action Pact, the company that founded the household model and co-developed and designed and will operate the Piper. We all at the Piper and at Action Pact have a passion for the way people live, and we're not a big business. Our influence is great and far-reaching in the senior living sector, but we're a reasonably small group of people who are really attracted to this out of the passion of it. The administrator is Heather Generali, and actually Heather, when I introduced this model to Kansas in the 90s at Meadowlark Hills in Manhattan, Kansas, soon after we articulated the model and began to implement it, and people traveled from all over the world to see it, we hired Heather Generali, who's a registered dietitian. Heather worked for me for many years, and when we decided to design and operate the Piper and open it, we were not going to hire an administrator that we didn't know, that we didn't know firsthand who they are, what their beliefs are, how they operate on a daily basis. And Heather and I go back 15 years. She's a wonderful listener. She has an amazing passion about this that she's lived day in and day out for 15 solid years and has taught people from all over the world how to implement it as they have come to Meadowlark Hills to learn about it. She's excited about this new opportunity. She loves people. She's a veteran of a new model, and she's someone that we can depend on and someone that you can depend on.
Okay, but there's a lot of choices out there. What makes you think it's the right choice for our dad? And how do you know what he wants?
Well, because really, all of us really fundamentally want the same thing. Maybe not in the same way, but we want the same thing. We want home. We want the sanctuary of home and all that that implies. We want to be able to love and to be loved. We want to belong to the degree that we wish to belong. We want to know people, and we want to be known. And that's fundamental to all of us, no matter what country, what race, what religion, what personality. There's no reason under God's Son that just because you may need some help, or that your mom may need a little help here and a little help there, or a lot of help, that you have to leave anything about yourself behind, including your treasures and the things that we have around us that make us know this is home. This isn't something that just gets stored away or distributed to family. Bring your treasures with you and set up that apartment where it's every bit as much your home as any place you ever lived. So in all ways, the people, the place, and the things, it's all home. So come home to the Piper.